Rodrigo Duterte, 16th President of the Philippines. In office, June 30th, 2016 to June 30th, 2022. Rodrigo Roa Duterte, born March 28, 1945, is a Filipino lawyer and politician who served as the 16th President of the Philippines from 2016 to 2022. He is currently serving as the mayor of Davao City since 2025. Duterte is the first Philippine president from Mindanao and is the oldest person to assume office, beginning his term at age 71. Duterte is the chairman of Partido Democratico Pilipino, the ruling party during his presidency. Born in Mason, Leyte, now in southern Leyte, Duterte moved to Davao as a child where his father, Vicente Duterte, served as provincial governor. He studied political science at the Lyceum of the Philippines University, graduating in 1968 before obtaining a law degree from San Beda College of Law in 1972. He then worked as a lawyer and prosecutor for Davao City before becoming vice mayor and, subsequently, mayor of the city in the wake of the 1986 People Power Revolution. Duterte won 7 terms and served as mayor of Davao for over 22 years, during which the once crime-ridden city became peaceful and investor-friendly. Duterte's 2016 presidential campaign. Duterte's 2016 presidential campaign led to his election victory. During his presidency, his domestic policy focused on combating the illegal drug trade by initiating the controversial war on drugs, fighting crime and corruption, and intensified efforts against terrorism and communist insurgency. He launched a massive infrastructure plan, initiated liberal economic reforms, streamlined government processes, and proposed a shift to a federal system of government which was ultimately unsuccessful. He also oversaw the controversial burial of Ferdinand Marcos, the 2017 Battle of Marawi, and the government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Duterte praised the armed forces of the Philippines for their role in national security and disaster response, particularly highlighting their efforts during the 2017 Battle of Marawi and in providing humanitarian assistance. Shortly after coming to office in mid-2016, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte traveled to Beijing on a state visit. There, in the Great Hall of the People, he announced his separation from the United States. The announcement shocked both the Philippine public and a political and military establishment that had long been wedded to its American security ally. Subsequent years would see a weakening of the relationship between Manila and Washington, as Duterte downplayed maritime disputes in the South China Sea and courted President Xi Jinping's support for large-scale infrastructure projects. Rodrigo Duterte was the first Philippine president in contemporary history to openly and unabashedly embrace China. In his first visit to China as president in October 2016, he announced during a Philippine-China Trade and Investment Forum at the Great Hall of the People his separation from the United States. "So I will be dependent on you for all times." It was a dramatic foreign policy shift that stunned many, including some members of his cabinet. He said he needed China's help, investment, loans, and aid to boost the Philippine economy. It was a pragmatic move, also driven by the fact that he hated China's rival superpower, the U.S., for criticizing his war on drugs, among other reasons. I will delve into this later. A few hours after Duterte declared his separation from the U.S., his finance and economic planning secretaries, who were with him in Beijing, did some damage control. They issued a statement clarifying that the Philippines was not turning its back on the West. Rather, the Philippines desires stronger integration with our neighbors as Asian economic integration was long overdue. International Criminal Court, ICC, or the Court. In March 12, 2025, Mr. Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Mr. Duterte, born on March 28, 1945, was surrendered to the custody of the International Criminal Court, ICC, or the Court. He was arrested by the authorities of the Republic of the Philippines in accordance with an arrest warrant issued by Pretrial Chamber I, the chamber for charges of murder as a crime against humanity. On February 10, 2025, the Office of the Prosecutor of the ICC, the prosecution applied for an arrest warrant against Mr. Duterte for the crimes against humanity of murder, torture, and rape. The chamber, composed of presiding Judge Ilia Antonella Motok and judges Rain Adelaide Sophie Alapini Gansu and Maria del Socorro Flores Liera, assessed the material submitted by the prosecution and found reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Duterte is individually responsible as an indirect co-perpetrator for the crime against humanity of murder, allegedly committed in the Philippines between November 1, 2011 and March 16, 2019. The chamber found that there was an attack directed against a civilian population pursuant to an organizational policy, while Mr. Duterte was the head of the Davao Death Squad, DDS, and pursuant to a state policy while he was the president of the Philippines. Moreover, there are reasonable grounds to believe that this attack was both widespread and systematic. The alleged attack took place over a period of several years and resulted in thousands of deaths. In the arrest warrant, the chamber focused on a sample of alleged incidents to facilitate its analysis.
Thank you for viewing. Click subscribe for me to create new content.